Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Shahzeb Ahmed Mughal and I'm a student of Government Degree College Sunkot. Currently I am in semester 2nd and my class roll number is 46. The topic that I am going to present today is gills in vertebrates. Gills are the branchia or the aquatic respiratory organs of fishes and amphibians. Amniotes such as reptiles, aves and birds do not utilize gills at any time in their embryonic or adult life. If we talk about the main function of gills, their main function is the exchange of gases. But gills also serve for loss or gain of water and elimination of salt in marine teleost. On the basis of location, gills are of two types: internal or true gills and external or larval gills. Some animal bears both internal as well as external gills. Moving to the first part, that is the internal or true gill. Internal gills are the characteristics of fishes and they are also the fundamental trait of phylum Chordata. In embryo, the pharyngeal cavity is connected to outside by a lateral opening called pharyngeal cleft or gill slits. These gill slits persist in adult state of protochordates, cyclostomes, fishes and certain amphibians, but they become modified or abolished in higher vertebrates. If we talk about the number of gill slits in various chordates, we can see a great variation. In Amphioxus, there are 140 gill slits present, 6 to 14 pairs in cyclostomes, 5 pairs in most elasmobranchs, 6 pairs in Hexanchus, 7 pairs in Heptanchus, 4 pairs in Chimeras, 5 pairs in most bony fishes and 4 pairs in some teleosts. As you can also see in the figure, gill slits are separated from one another through visceral or gill arches. Arches are supported by skeletal structures of splanchno-cranium together forming the visceral skeleton. If we talk about the structure of a true gill develops on the wall of some gill clefts or gill arches. A typical gill is composed of two rows of numeral gill filaments or lamella. These gill filaments are derived from epithelium on either sides of an interbranchial septum. A single row of lamella on one side of branchial septum forms half gill known as demibranch or hemibranch. A septum with two attached demibranchs comprises a complete gill known as the hollow branch. Gill filaments are supplied richly with blood. Gills of elasmobranchs are generalized in structure and relationships. Gills of bony fishes are also similar but shows the following differences. The first difference is the operculum. Bony fishes bears a bony flap called operculum or gill cover. It arises from hyoid and cover gills in a common opercular cavity which opens by a single slit-like crescent external gills opening behind. The second difference is the interbranchial septum. Median septum are best developed in elasmobranchs, but they are reduced in intermediate fishes like chimeras and greatly reduced or virtually absent in teleosts. The third difference is the spiracles. In elasmobranchs and ganoids, the first gill slit between mandibular and hyoid arc becomes reduced pseudobranch and opens to outside through a small opening called spiracle. The fourth difference is the reduction in the number of demibranchs. Demibranch found on hyoid arc in elasmobranch is lost in modern ganoid and teleost, which have only 4 hollow branches. Additional demibranchs are lost in some lungfishes. The extreme case of reduction is found in the eel Amphinus, in which first and fourth branchial arches are without gills while the second arch retains only a demibranch. Moving to the second half of the lecture, that is the external or larval gills. External gills are formed as branching outgrowths from exposed outer epithelium of gill arches. They are ectodermal in origin, and they are the temporary organs found only in larval stages, hence termed as larval gills. They occurs in the larva of lampreys, few bony fishes including polypterys, lungfishes, lepidosirene, and all amphibians including caecilians. In amphibians, larval external gills are absorbed at the time of metamorphosis in water-living, perennial branchiate urodales. Both external gills and gill slits persist during adult life. In Amphinema, gills are absorbed but gill slits remains. Gills assumes various shapes being pectinate, bipinnate, dendrite, and leaf life, etc. Each gill consists of a narrow main central axis having double row of filaments. Gills are simply waved in water and no water current pass through gill slits as in case of true gills because they are thoroughly vascularized by aortic arches. So this was something about the gills in vertebrates. Thanks for listening.